Gentlemen, you are about to be entertained by the Black Sedan Band. And I am yours truly, Hoss Carl on the mic. I guarantee you, if you want to dance, we don't mind you doing it. We gonna have a good time. Hey, well, I'm the friendly stranger in the Black Sedan. I want you to hop inside my car. I got pictures, plenty of a lovable man, and I can take you to the nearest star.
I guarantee you we're going to have a wonderful time, man. We got a great show planned. Our bumper music is absolutely phenomenal, man. Black Sedan coming out of Birmingham, Alabama. And I guarantee we're having a great show today, Pat.
We're not a local group anymore, are we? We go everywhere.
We go everywhere that will feed us, trust me. And Bar Louie's is the absolute best. The absolute best venue to come in here, talk some sports, the absolute best venue to enjoy some fine food.
It's a nice place.
We can go downstairs. There's 94 TVs downstairs we can watch. We got a couple right here. We're watching a race. Our guy, John Overmeyer, is spinning the dials. John, what's up, man? You good?
I'm good. Ready for a big show.
Hey, talk to our listeners about how they get a hold of us.
Very, very simple. They can do two. Yes, as Pat's son Scott and his beautiful wife are here.
Yeah,
so
we
do the box, guys.
We have
put
an
it in the
audience.
box. Do it the box.
That
there you go.
We got the box.
Yeah, get the box. Just submit it in the box. It'll come to me here at Bar Louie's, or of course you can just send me an email at john@broadcastsport.net. We've got some questions, but if you like a comment or a suggestion to talk to these two slaps, just let me know.
So
now we're publicly slapped.
Yeah, there you go.
That's not
here's the
private
deal.
anymore.
Okay, here's the deal. I can call myself a slap. He can call himself a slap. But nobody else calls us slaps, right?
We've been called much worse by season ticket holders.
And by officials.
Oh,
and by officials.
Well, officials have other names for us.
Hey, so about 7 o'clock, we're going to have Coach Ryan Varga on. His South Bend Washington Panthers are having a great season at 14-3. We'll talk about their sectional a little bit. We'll get his take on his team. I know Matt Painter was at his gym the other night. I'd like to know exactly which player Matt was looking at. Probably the Reynolds kid, right?
Probably the freshman.
Yeah, I mean, you got to get in on him early, and then we'll maybe talk to Ryan a little bit about the fracas, the melee, the malice at the palace, the Great Western Forum. I don't know what you want to call it, but
when they're going to play the rest of the game.
But obviously they had a little problem, and I mean, who better to tell us about it than Ryan? But let's start out with the NFL. Not for long, man. The Not for Long League, right?
We got one more game.
One more game, and we got to spend a couple minutes on it because it's going to be played Sunday, and we won't. we won't talk about it next week.
Right.
But I will tell you this much: the Eagles. I want to root for Kansas City. I really do. I love Pat Mahomes. I think he's a warrior. I love Andy Reid. I love that commercial where Andy Reid draws mustaches on people and stuff.
Right.
I love that. But when I studied the Eagles a little bit, I mean, the Eagles have had 78 sacks this year, and their lines, their offensive lines, their defensive lines are just monstrous. So I don't know how you wouldn't put your money on Philadelphia.
Well, they've talked the smart money goes with the defense and the line, and Philadelphia has both.
I don't think there's any question. The trenches belong to Philadelphia.
Yes.
Now, and when you're betting money, that's where you go.
Right.
Okay, that's where you go. So I do have a little trivia question for you, and this is from me to you, and I'm thinking you might get this, but. So there's a football player that played at in South Bend.
Right.
Played for a couple of schools. I think he ended up playing at Washington. He played. He went to Bowling Green. Had a great career. He had a 5th year at Alabama. He caught a touchdown pass from Jalen Hurts at Alabama. He's caught numerous passes from Pat Mahomes, the quarterback, Kansas City. Who is it?
I know who it is. Do we want to have our listeners write something in? If you know who it is, have them write it down. We'll tell you who I think it is here in a little bit. You gave them plenty of hints. You gave them like 10 hints.
Well, yeah, but the one hint that I didn't give him was I went to school with his dad.
Yeah, good point.
Went to school with his dad, man. He was like that big. He was that big. He ended up being like a weightlifter,
He
a
was a-
South Bend
he-
police officer.
Scott, what was the youngest one's name? G-Boy, Nolan, Michael. Thurman Michael.
Thurman Munson.
Think about the family. Think about
Wait a
the
minute.
names. I just gave that one away.
Wait a minute. In 10 days, pitchers and catchers.
I know.
You got me thinking about
See, all of a
Thurman
sudden
Munson from the Yanks.
Well, he's got an older brother named Nolan.
I know.
Middle name's Ryan.
I know. I'm going to give this up. Garrick Dieter.
Your classmates were.
I'm giving this up. Garrick Dieter
you
caught
had some unique
a
classmates.
touchdown pass from Jalen Hurts while at Alabama.
Yes.
And he caught numerous passes from Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah, the kids called him G-Boy, which stood for Gehrig.
Yeah,
So how's that?
I mean, well, okay, so I forgot. He did play at SMU also.
Yeah.
So
He had
Bowling
different
Green,
schools. Then
SMU, then Alabama.
Yes.
All right, so I'm going Philly. I don't know where you're going. I'm going Philly. I know John. I mean, John likes to be out there a little bit. I mean, who are you going with?
I'm going with Philly by at least 2 touchdowns.
Ooh.
They're going.
Okay, who you got?
I'll take that.
Who you got?
It's going to be closer than that. I'm going to take the Eagles also, just because I think the smart money goes with the Eagles again. I'd like to see a good close game. I'd like to see the Chiefs win. I think it'd be good for Mahomes' legacy, but I don't right now. Not yet. They're going to have to do it next year.
All right, so speaking of legacies, speaking of this Thursday, we have the NBA trade deadline.
Yes.
The NBA trade deadline and trades in the NBA. Okay, trades in the NBA are kind of hard to do because you have to match salaries, and it could be an expiring salary, it could be a current salary, but we just saw that the Brooklyn Nets pulled off a trade.
They did.
They pulled off a trade.
Mark Cuban.
Kyrie Irving, who acts like about a 10-year-old most of his life. A very, very good basketball player. Okay, don't get me wrong. Very good basketball player.
I agree.
Wouldn't, get his COVID shots and everything. Couldn't play last year at home. For Brooklyn. His teammates are out there playing their guts out, and he's saying, I ain't getting a shot, man. I'm not doing this. I'm not playing. And so literally he lets his teammates down and plays this year. Now he comes back and says, I want to trade.
When I think I saw a statistic, he's been there 4 years and he's played in less than 150 games of an 82-game season.
Exactly.
82 times 4, you do the math, and he's played 150 of them, maybe.
Exactly.
He's either been hurt or, like you said, unvaccinated.
So the Mavericks trade for him.
And he was supposedly supposed to be in Dallas today for his physical.
That's probably why Scott's here. Scott came to tell us that he saw him in Dallas and he's flying him
Was he
back.
there this morning? Or you were there last night, weren't you? Yeah, my son's a pilot. He was in Dallas last night. He ended up in Minneapolis overnight, and now he's here. So he's got some inside information.
Okay, so the Nets get Spencer Dinwiddie, averaged 17 points a game, probably 5 or 6 rebounds a game, a couple assists a game. A really, really good three-point shooter, stretches the defense.
And he's going back there, I think.
He's going back to the Nets. Played for the Nets for 3 or 4 years.
Yes, okay.
They got Dorian Finney-Smith, an ex-first-round draft pick. They got an unprotected first-round draft pick.
Yeah, in like 2029,
which means
will be traded away.
Well, which means it could be. It could be a second, like a number 2 overall pick, and
Right.
they still get it. And then they get a second-round pick.
Yeah, down the road in like 27 or 28 or 29.
And Luka gets another offensive player.
Yes, that has to help him, because if you think about it, last year, Luka would score 45 in the playoffs. They'd still get beat.
Yeah, Luka's a beast. There's no question. Luka's a beast. Now he's got another player to go with him, and I thought it was really interesting. The owner of the Nets flat told his GM, he said, "You will not trade Kyrie to the Lakers with LeBron." That trade will not
Will
happen.
not happen. I had not heard that.
Because they didn't want LeBron and Kyrie to hook up again, and so you talk about the Nets now. The Nets got the big three last year. The Nets got KD, the Nets got James Harden, the Nets got Kyrie.
Right.
I mean, not a bad big three, but obviously not good enough. And now the Nets got KD.
3 players that need the basketball in their hands.
Exactly. I mean, and when you're talking about these GMs putting these NBA rosters together, I don't think that they really ever say, is there chemistry here? Okay, because I would look at the Chicago Bulls now, and I would say the Chicago Bulls, Zach LaVine, DeMar DeRozan, Vucevic, big three.
Right.
But they can't play together. There's not enough basketballs for either one of those three, and with the trade line or the trade deadline looming on Thursday, the Bulls are going to hold on to those guys. I mean, they're 3 games below 500.
But that's the kind of players that we're producing right now, is people that have to have the ball in their hand, and the team chemistry is just not there because of it.
Well, so maybe a little team chemistry with Lonzo Ball, but Lonzo Ball has not played in a NBA basketball game for a year. Lonzo Ball had a meniscus injury. Mm-hmm. Lonzo Ball still, isn't to the point to where he can practice, to where he can go. There's a lot of talk maybe where it's major nerve damage in that knee joint. And if anybody kind of needs to rebuild and start over, and maybe get rid of a Levine and get a first or a second or a couple first and a max contract maybe to match that up a little bit, but I'm really disappointed that the Bulls will not take part in that.
It's the name I always come up with is Rondo, because it seemed like every place that Rondo landed, that team won, because he would lead the league in assists. I mean, he was there for a reason. He was there not to score. Now, some people don't like him, but I'm just saying it just seemed like every time he'd land someplace, that team went up. They got better.
Rajon Rondo.
Yep.
Just a pro, right?
He's
just a pro. And okay, I'm going to tell you who else is a pro. And I think there are 2 pros that I really love in college basketball. I love Matt Painter, and I love Mike Woodson. I think both of those coaches are probably the top 2 coaches. Mike Woodson comes into Indiana and he changes the culture. So he changes the culture from Archie Miller, who I wasn't very fond of Archie Miller. I never thought Archie Miller was either big enough or good enough to have that job. Mike Woodson comes in, he changes the culture. Those guys start to play hard. Those guys start to care about winning and losing. And lo and behold, they've won 6 out of 7.
And it's taken them how long? Till January. They started playing a lot better here middle of January.
Well, I don't think that there's any question about that. But I think at the end of the day, Mike Woodson has started to build that culture. And at the end of the day, I don't think there's any question that Matt Painter has that culture at Purdue. Now Matt Painter's had some great teams. Matt Painter's had some quick outs in the tournament, but when I listened to some of Matt Painter's players, for instance, Braden Smith commits a big turnover late in the game. His baseline drive, baseline dish is going to kick it across to Mason Gillis. By the way, Mason Gillis makes 9 threes in the game against Penn State.
Middle of the week, right?
And makes a couple against IU. He's going to kick it across the baseline, and an IU player steps in and intercepts the pass. That's the only turnover that Braden Smith has. So Braden Smith is at the table after the game being interviewed, and Zach Edey is there and a couple other players, and Zach Edey says, that game wasn't on Braden Smith. Are you kidding me? Braden Smith played his brains out. He made 1 turnover. He committed 1 turnover. Every Purdue player took up for Braden Smith and took up for each other. The comment that I thought was really great by David Jenkins. is like a fifth-year player.
He's a fifth-year player.
And, I mean, he made a couple big threes in that game. But David Jenkins says, we don't lose. We learn about basketball at the end of the day, but we don't lose.
That makes sense.
No, that's Matt Painter, right?
Yes, very much so.
I mean, that's Matt Painter.
And that game the other night was great for the entire state of basketball in Indiana because it brought people back. People have been missing that because you had two of the best teams in the country in the Assembly Hall. That hadn't happened in quite a few years.
Well, I think it's the first time since 2013 that IU has beat a number one ranked team. Correct?
I think that's right. They said
I think the last time might have been Kentucky when Christian Watford hit that J.
Right.
And the whole state went crazy.
Yeah, because that was. I mean, what else? It's either Kentucky beat Kentucky or beat Purdue. So that's it. The best of two worlds for the IU people.
Talk about Zach Edey, man. I mean, what do you think about Zach Edey?
Well, the other night he had 33 and 18. Is that one of your questions you have?
That is actually one of the questions. You guys
jump
want to
in
answer
on
or
it.
not?
Jump
All right.
Fire that question
This,
out.
co-
What
this,
is it?
this comes from Mike in Lafayette. Is Zach Edey the best player in college hoops, and what is his draft stock?
Well, the first thing I thought, they said he'd only played 5 years of organized basketball. He was at they brought him in from. He was down at IMG down in Bradenton for 1 year. I thought that was interesting. A couple of the plays at the foul line, they showed
His mother.
They showed his mom, but they showed him and Jackson Davis standing there talking to each other during the game, and they actually, had little smiles on their face. You could just see they were just chit-chatting. And the pedigree that they had. Here's one kid that was Mr. Basketball in Indiana. Dad's a former pro. And another kid who's brand new, comes in from Canada, goes to IMG for a year in Bradenton, and then comes to Purdue. And he's still learning. I think his upside there. How high is his ceiling? I don't know if he's the best player in the country right now, but I wouldn't mind having him on my team.
I'd say his ceiling is about 7'4" to be
right
honest with you, because that's how big he is. But if you watch him get his position, okay, if you watch him go to those jump hooks,
Those baby
both
hooks,
right-handed and left-handed, he made a great crab move where he put the ball on the deck right, sealed his foot, came back to his left for a power move. I think he's a really, really good player.
his footwork is phenomenal, and they've said a lot of that's from his baseball, hockey, upbringing that he had.
Yeah, I think now he's a junior, right? And I don't know if he's a graduate
Is he a junior?
student junior. I don't know.
Okay.
If he's going to come out. I mean, I don't know nothing about his draft status, but if I was an NBA team and I evaluated him, and it's 7'4", and the fact that he's been coached.
Right.
I mean, he's been coached wonderfully. I'd take it. I mean, if you're going to take Chet Holmgren from Gonzaga, I'm going to take Zach Edey from Purdue, man.
Or you got Timmy from Gonzaga too.
Yes.
Yeah, and in the NBA world, it's gone so European when with 4 out and 1 in, and the 1 in is a movable 5-man. You're going to go back to the old school stuff where you just take your 5-man and stick him on the post and play out of the post. You're going to have to change the culture of a team.
Well, so much of it is a stretch 4, stretch 5.
Sure.
I mean, stretch 4, stretch 5, come down in transition, kick it, take the 3. But now you're coming down in transition, and your stretch 4 is looking high-low. Mm-hmm. I mean, you're looking to get easy baskets. Now,
that top feed.
Now I always listen, and I'm very interested in this. When the pundits will always talk about DeMar DeRozan, and they'll say DeMar DeRozan does not have a 3-point game. He's got the mid-range game, and they almost talk about that like that's a negative for DeMar DeRozan. But I will tell you this much: at any given point in time, I'll take 2 points.
Yes.
I'll take 2 points.
What's wrong with that elbow jumper?
No, I know. And if DeMar DeRozan gets to a spot, he's automatic. Mm-hmm. So I mean, what's the problem with going down into the post, high-low, getting that baby hook?
And he leads the team in assists.
He leads the team in assists because, they're jamming down, he's kicking out. So what is, like one of the things that we talk about all the time, you coach the post.
Sure.
I coach the post. When the post catches the ball, what do they got to do?
They got, well, as a postman, chin the ball.
Chin the ball.
Chin the ball.
Get those elbows out.
Yep, and he does.
And get them out. And if they come at you, you're going to lead, and they'll back off.
Oh, yeah. Think how many times people have gone to the table, the referees have gone to the table because Edey's cleared people out just in his movement because his 7-4 elbows are right in that 6'10 guy's chin.
And then kick it, and then it's the second pass out of it.
Reposition.
It's the second pass out to Lawyer. It's the second pass out to Jenkins. It's the second pass out now to Mason Gillis.
He had 10 offensive rebounds the other night.
I love.
So he's repositioning himself for misses.
And so obviously the voters. Purdue drops the game, but the voters don't care. The voters put Purdue back at number 1.
Well, I think you jump on the other side. Trace Jackson Davis had a fantastic week this last week too. He was 25-7 against Edey, and when they took him out and he had a chance to go in there against First and Gillis tried to guard him some. He just overpowered him.
Well, and so he is an elite athlete. He's got great size. Got great jumping ability. He's got great timing, and he's finally coming into his own, and he's developing consistency.
Yes, well, that's a good word, consistency, and that's why I use winning right now.
And I use winning also because of Jalen Hood-Schifrino.
Oh my
goodness!
How
many big buckets did he have late?
Well, and I saw something today when Xavier is it Johnson when he gets back from his foot issues. Who's the point guard? Are they going to hand it back to him like he's the starting quarterback, or are they going to put him side by side? Well, I think that's a nice problem for Woodson to have right now.
Yeah, I don't think there's any question. Hood-Schifino plays 31
goodness.
minutes, drops in 16 points, gets a couple of rebounds. Trey Galloway.
Trey's playing great.
No, Mr. Glue, right?
Yes.
Mr. Glue.
Yes.
Mr. Glue, 34 minutes, 11 points. And Trey Galloway used to be this guy, well, we can't play Trey more than 12 or 14 or 15 minutes. But he's the ultimate glue guy.
Yeah, he's playing more than that now.
Oh, he played 34, man.
Yes,
Are you kidding me?
They can't get him off the floor now.
Are you kidding me?
And the thing you're looking at with Hood-Schifino, they're going to have the pockets are going to have the deep pockets are going to have to find some money to keep him around off season because he is going to be highly sought after in the transfer portal.
So we call that NIL,
yeah,
right?
we call that NIL.
NIL cash. So I don't know when you were at Butler, how much NIL did you get? I got 2 or 3 hot dogs a week, man.
Well, I think I got one for football, and I got the mustard and ketchup for basketball.
So I will relay this story to you. This is a really funny. No, it's not funny. I'm playing in Texas, so I go to St. Edward's University in Austin, Texas. So my first game is against Stephen F. Austin.
Okay, sure.
And we're playing at Stephen F. Austin.
Been there.
And I go for like 12 and 10 as a freshman. Just lucky, I'm lucky because I played hard. Marshall Robinson was on that team, Herman Helicopter.
Yep.
And so I go for like 12 and 10. After the game, I'm walking back to the locker room, and this big guy with a cowboy hat on, cowboy boots, shakes my hand. Mm-hmm. Nice game, Ron. And as I pull my hand away, there's something in my hand, man, and I'm going, what? There's something in my hand? And as I pull my hand away, it's money, right? Cash, money, flow, cabbage, whatever you want to call it. And the guy looks at me and he winks. He's got the cowboy hat and he goes, "You keep playing like that, son." And he's got that accent. You keep playing like that, son. There's going to be more like that.
There you go.
And I'm going, man, Texas is really cool. I like Texas. Jeez, it's amazing.
I think the only NIL I could even tell you would date back to high school. We got some might have got some free French fries down at the Big Top.
Well, you got all the Chucky Taylors you wanted. I saw that equipment room at Anderson.
Gosh. Oh yeah.
I saw the Chucky Taylors.
You got to remember, we were there before girls sports, so we had it was unlimited. But yeah, we got a few meals down at the YMCA and the Alibi before it closed down. I'm telling stories back to places you don't even know where it existed. But the Big Top. Went down to see Ed Cunningham.
Yeah, no, right across the
Hot
street
Dog
there.
Circus right down
Yeah.
the railroad tracks. If
Yeah.
you're an Anderson person, you know exactly what I'm talking about.
Hey, Pat, you got a double-double it.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, Pat, you got a double-double. Here's a Coney dog today.
Exactly.
Ain't no hot dogs today. You got a Coney dog, man. So Notre Dame so Purdue on Thursday will visit Iowa, or Iowa will visit Purdue. Now this is funny too because I'm going to throw a name at you, and you're not going to know this name, but Tony Perkins is from Lawrence North. Tony Perkins had 32 the other night for Iowa. Now Tony Perkins' dad played basketball at Anderson. He's probably maybe in his 50s, but Tony Perkins' dad played basketball at Anderson, and I used to see him in Indy all the time. Tony played at Lawrence North, and so Tony went for 33 the other night at Iowa. Iowa visits Purdue on Thursday. Indiana, Rutgers is at IU on Tuesday.
Iowa. What's the kid's name from Central Noble? He's playing for them. He's number 3.
Yeah,
I'm drawing a
no,
blank.
he's a shooter. He's a
But
shooter.
he was in the game late.
Yes.
And I just, what is it, Scott?
Essig. Essig, something like that.
Okay. I'm
Now,
getting
we
yelled
saw
at.
him at the semi
So I'm
state.
at the semi-state, and
yeah,
everybody's saying he's going to
Connor
Wisconsin.
Essingen
He's going to
or something
Wisconsin.
like that.
He's at is he at Wisconsin
He's
or
at,
Iowa?
he is at Wisconsin.
He's at Wisconsin. Okay.
Yeah.
I saw some 8 games this weekend. I'm getting them mixed
Okay,
up.
speaking of Wisconsin, Northwestern beats Wisconsin again.
Yes, I
For the
watched
second
that.
time.
I watched that last night.
I mean, great for Collins, Chris Collins, right?
Northwestern's in the top 4. If the Big Ten's tournament started today, they would have a double bye.
They are they're number 5 now. Purdue's 1, Rutgers is 2, Iowa's 3, Maryland, which is undefeated at home.
Yes,
Maryland's undefeated at home.
IU found that out.
Is
didn't they?
4, Northwestern 5,
Northwestern's 5. Okay.
and Indiana 6.
Okay.
So there's the next ups.
Yes, they
for
would get 1 bye, so they get to sit out the Thursday game.
For Purdue and Indiana.
Mm-hmm.
Now, and here's the deal for both of those schools. I mean, I got no problem with Purdue because I believe Purdue will take care of Iowa. But now I want Indiana to build on that momentum and build on that and not slip up
And sneak into that 3 or 4 spot in the
and
tournament.
continue to have success. All right, here's a question for you. Talk to me about rushing the court.
Oh my!
I mean, what's your philosophy, rushing the court?
I think it's too cheap. I don't like it. Act like you've been there before. I mean, like the IU people, I really didn't. Of course they just beat number 1, but you know what? It was Purdue. That's when you just smile and say, "We'll see you in 2 weeks."
You're right. I agree with you.
We got you here at home. We'll see you in 2 weeks because all they did was create bulletin board material. And when they walk into Mackey Arena here in 2 or 3 weeks, it just made things even more fun because the Purdue people, if Purdue rushes the court, I'll be upset if they win. I think Purdue just needs to sit there and say, "We'll see you at the Big Ten tourney." That's my attitude. Act like you've been there before.
So you are definitely old school on that.
Oh yeah.
Definitely old school.
Act like you've been here before.
No, not, and I agree wholeheartedly with you. So, John, we're going to take a minute here. Okay, you're going to run some stuff on the board here, and I'm going to get Ryan Varga on the line, and we're going to talk to Coach Varga about the West Side Panthers.
Sure.
So here's the deal. I was in school today. I got the left pant leg up. I got the left pant leg up because I'm going West Side.
You're killing me.
I'm going West Side at Mishawaka High School. All right?
Oh.
Because I know we got Varga on.
Oh.
All right, Johnny, take it, and we'll get Coach Varga on here.
We'll be back with more of Coach's Corner with Heck and King from Bar Louie here on BroadcastSport.net.
Indiana. Frick's was started in 1960 and is located on Edison Road in Mishawaka. If your child is 15, you can get them started at Frick's. There are multiple instructions available for your driving lessons. Check out the BroadcastSport.net main page and click on the Frick's icon to get more information. There you can find out more information and instructions to enroll your new driver. Frick's Driving School, a proud sponsor of Coach's Corner on BroadcastSport.net. Southern Knit Studio is a proud sponsor of Coach's Corner on BroadcastSport.net. Southern Knit Studio is located in Nashville, Tennessee, which makes custom handmade chunky knit blankets. They come in 3 sizes and various colors for your living room or den. Stephanie's Esty Shop offers online shipping and ships anywhere in the country. If you need a great gift idea for any holiday, including birthday, anniversary, or Christmas, check out Southern Knit Studio. You can find more by clicking on the link at the www.broadcastsport.net page. Jackson's Cigar Bar is located in the 100 Center in Mishawaka. Jackson's is the only place in our area offering a gourmet cigar and alcoholic drink. Jackson's has a full bar along with a 1,200 square foot patio for your enjoyment. Jackson's is open Wednesday through Sunday 4 to midnight. Jackson's also has plenty of TVs to watch your favorite game while enjoying your cigar and drink. That's Jackson's Cigar Bar located in the 100 Center in Mishawaka, a proud sponsor of Coach's Corner on BroadcastSport.net.
Yes, sir. We are back on Coach's Corner. John Overmeyer spinning the dials for me and the great Pat King here. And we're really happy to have the pride of the West Side, the South Bend, Washington coach, Ryan Varga, on with us. Ryan, how you doing, man? Are you there?
Might turn his volume up a little bit.
Turn your volume.
Yeah, I got it. Are you there? I got my volume up.
Yeah, he's cranked. I'm not real sure. Huh.
Point the bottom of it towards your mic.
Ryan, you there?
I can hear him just a little bit.
Hello.
We're trying to do the.
Hello, hello.
I can just barely hear him.
Yeah, I don't know.
Are you there, man?
Yeah, I'm here.
We got you, man. Hey, sorry about that little technical glitch. So, listen, the South Bend Washington Panthers, 14-3. Man, you're having a great year. Talk about your team so far to date.
I mean, it really comes down to, our seniors. As you probably know, we have a lot of them. But we have 4 or 5 guys that have been with us for about 4 years now that have kind of taken their lumps early on in their careers and just kind of stuck with it and trusted the process and, have bought into what we've been selling them for about 4 years, and, the success follows with that. And so I'm pretty proud of them. Obviously, everybody knows Marcus Northern, and obviously and we got some guys that complement him very well, and Terrence Reed and Tyshawn Grundy and Jason Dockery and Devin DeFries, and you got some role players, Terrell Ritchie and Jarrell Williams, and then we got a transfer from Elkhart that's been able to step in and help us, and Eric Nocentelli.
So what about the freshman kid, Reynolds? How good is he?
Steven, I mean, obviously when IU and, Purdue or Painters coming to visit you, you're pretty good. Yeah, Steven is his skill set right now is just tremendous. Obviously he can shoot it, but, he's just, growing into it. I think he's still growing personally. I felt like he grew 3 inches just from the beginning of the season. But he can handle it. He has tremendous IQ. I think once he kind of, gets more acclimated to the toughness and the weight room, which he has been, the sky's the limit for him.
Yeah. So and obviously, genetically speaking, and his family. I mean, he comes from just a wonderful athletic family. His sisters, are by far the best in the state of Indiana. His father was a great player at South Bend Riley. I remember when his father played.
Yeah, Steve himself played. He played at Western Michigan and overseas, so he has great family genes. They're just a basketball family. They love the game, and they're always in the gym. You know where to find them, and so he comes from a very good home.
So I'm looking at the end of your schedule here now, and you really have a brutal end of your schedule. You're at Penn on February 10th. You're at South Bend St. Joe on the 17th, and you're at Northwood on the 18th. Talk about the end of your schedule here a little.
I think obviously, you have to play the best, and we're all playing for March, and what better way to get yourself ready right before, the sectional than, play, Penn, who's obviously, number 2 in 4A, and, Northwood that goes back and forth from being, 1 or number 2 in 3A, and then, St. Joe, a conference place, you playing there. They're always a tough win to try and get. So, I'm just, it's kind of, Northwood's kind of at the end for a reason. But obviously we have 2 NIC games, and we got dropped a game, which I was hoping we could fill in there later on in the season. But, hopefully, we can finish strong.
Are you guys going to make that South Bend Riley game up?
It's a funny story. South Bend Washington is ready to play, but I don't know where it stands as far as what it's going to look like for everybody else. So I can't really speak on that. I just know if we're called to play, we'll be ready. We want to play. But it's just ironing out some things that are obviously above my pay grade. So, hopefully we can.
So I know you know this, but I mean, I'm a West Side guy, man. My dad was a dentist in the Marycrest building on Western Avenue, and my dad and his twin brothers are in the Hall of Fame at Washington. And so when I look at the scores, I'm always looking for the Panthers, and I'm always looking for them to come out of games with W's. And as I'm looking at your sectional, man, so the Mishawaka Marion game, I know that game was close early, correct?
Yeah, we were down 3 at half, and then for the most of the third quarter, in that 5 to 6 range, and things kind of we missed some shots in the early fourth, and they ran away with it. Credit to Marion, but I truly believe it was we can play with them, and we showed that we can play with them. But now we got to put 4 quarters together to do that. And I think the crowd kind of got the best of us a little bit, and that's a good learning experience for us. They've been there before, and we're kind of stumbling upon it, and trying to figure it out still at that point. But it was a good learning experience for us, and we'd rather win in March, whereas a couple weeks ago. So hopefully we can pull through on that.
Yeah, I think you said something really interesting there, and being able to at the end of the day, as the season goes on, play a 32-minute game. I mean that's what you need to play when you get to the state tournament. Not a 24-minute game, not a 28-minute game, but the full 32 minutes. How close are you guys to being there?
I think I saw some things in the Raleigh game, honestly, that kind of showed me that we're very close. We had senior night, and obviously, credit to Riley, they jumped on us, early, and they shot the ball extremely well, better than I've seen them. But I didn't call a timeout. We didn't waver once we got some certain guys in certain spots. And, we settled in. We allowed them only 6 points in the second quarter. And I think I saw some of the things that we've been missing as far as guys banding together and some of that leadership, coming from the seniors to push through. So I think we're very close. I think Friday's going to be another test for us as far as to see how much closer we can get. I'd say we're about maybe 10 to 15% away. So, hopefully we can continue to do that. We had a very good practice today, and we're going to continue to get better.
Tell us a little bit about the story that happened at halftime. Now your team goes in, so obviously you're not privy to what happened, but and obviously there were some issues going on. I mean, what do you know about that from your standpoint?
I mean, obviously we we just got done with with a really good second quarter, so we were in there, making some changes and critiquing some things that we did and trying to fix some things. And it was a senior night. It was coaches versus cancer. They had games and stuff that they were planning, and Reynolds was going to get presented his induction to the Hall of Fame. So kind of when the crowd started kind of going nuts that we've heard, we're just thinking they're doing the tossing of the game and things like that. And then somebody came into our locker room and said, it's going crazy out there. And from what my understanding, from what it is the individuals that were involved, and there was really only like 15 to 18 of them, which is a lot, but not really, students in the factor of, these are young adults. These are, 18, 19, 20-year-olds, 21-year-olds that had some things that were, outside that, kind of made their way into the gym. And it's unfortunate, but, I'm very proud of what our athletic director and our staff and, Riley's staff did to put that, to get it to where it was, in the South Bend Police Department, because it probably could have been a lot worse, but, we're able to sit there and, kind of use it as a learning experience, for future, not only city games, but just even, rivalry games from here on out.
Ryan, this is Pat. I was going to ask you, was there anything that went on in the first or second quarter that gave you any indications that something wasn't going right?
I mean, no, there was nothing as far as, there was nothing stemming from the gameplay or the situation of who was up or who was down. There was, if you're asking me if you're a fan of basketball, I think we, Riley and us put on a nice halftime show that was competitive, or, a half worth of a show that was competitive. There wasn't any sort of, tussle between the teams. It was just both teams playing with their, a lot of emotion and, playing the game of basketball. But there was nothing that, that could have, stated that thing was going to happen. And, like I said, I watched the film on it plenty of times, and I think the reaction time of everybody that, was a part of the administration and, the security staff was spot on.
I will tell you this much. When I went to the Garrick Dieter football game, a school field, when Washington played Riley, and I was in line buying tickets and all that kind of stuff. And a couple kids came in line, and the police officers were right there, and they said, "Can I see either your Riley or your Washington ID?" And they didn't have them. Obviously, they weren't from Washington or Riley. They didn't let them in the game. Do you guys still have that policy for basketball games?
Like I said, I think that's pretty much in place. Pretty much any city game for the most part. The tricky situation is, these kids are not students. They're graduated, or they're no longer affiliated with the school. So it's very tough when you teeter that line. So I know that it's something that downtown and all athletic departments are gonna kind of get it together and figure out what's the best case for this to not happen again. But we've done this so many times. Adams was jam packed when we went to Adams, which is a rivalry game. Clay came, and it was a rivalry game, and we haven't had any sort of problems like that before. I just think this is an unfortunate event where it didn't matter where this was going to happen. As long as these individuals were there, it was going to happen. And it's just unfortunate that it was at a high school basketball game. But it could have been at University Park Mall. It could have been at the movies. It could have been anywhere. So it's unfortunate it's at a high school game, but it is what it is. But I think it was handled in the best situation that it could be.
Ryan, I was going to ask you another question. I know conference bylaws tell you that, I think, unless they've changed, that you guys have to play that game. I was just looking at the schedule. The last week of the season's open. You guys, I think Riley has a game maybe on Tuesday, but I think it's possible you guys could actually play that on Thursday or Friday. Moving forward, is this something that's going to be looked at, and with a good possibility that you guys will be able to play that maybe that last couple of days of the season?
Yeah, I hope so. I hope it's looked at, from our end, but that, like I said, that is a decision that, that it is going to have to come from above, and, we'll be ready with whatever decision they make, and, we'll move on from it. So, I don't know the bylaws. You probably know them a lot better than I do, but, hopefully we can, figure it out and get that game, and I think the kids want to play, so, hopefully we can make it happen.
Hey, you got the number 2 seed now. Mishawaka Marion is ranked 16th in your sectional at Jimtown. So you're ranked 29th, and St. Joe is ranked 136. So depending on that draw, that could really be a cool deal if you and Marion are in opposite brackets, and you guys go hammering out and play for that sectional championship game.
Yeah, that'd be great. I mean, I think Rob and I have played each other on that Tuesday more times than not. So anything other than that, that first Tuesday or even the second game where we're in the same bracket, I think people would love to see that, and I think that'd be good for Indiana high school basketball. A rematch, so to speak, and and let the kids kind of duke it out again, and but you're subject to the draw, and and what is going to happen, and sometimes it doesn't work out in your favor.
Hey, so we want to wish you good luck in the remaining games of your season, and we want to thank you for coming on and talking about this scenario, talking about your team, man. Good luck the rest of the year, Ryan.
I really appreciate it. Thank you guys for having me.
All right, see you, buddy. Bye-bye. So that in itself was a great interview, and I thought Ryan was really candid and spoke well of this, the situation, because at that point in time for him, I mean, he just got to keep his team in the locker room and keep his team safe.
Yeah, he doesn't know anything. He's been told to stay in the locker room, and we'll let you know what's going on next.
Yeah.
And so all he's hearing and all he knows is he's repeating something that somebody else told him.
Yeah, and he, to be able to come on and agree to talk about that.
Yeah,
I thought was really great on his part.
Ryan's a top-notch guy.
Yeah, he stand up and obviously Tommy DeBates is his uncle, right? So you're hanging with Tommy DeBates your whole life, man. Hey, Uncle Tom, come on, man.
He knows how to handle situations. That's for sure. And like we said, in 3A, Northwood's number 1, Mishawaka Marion's number 2, Norwell's 3, Washington's number 6. So you've got 2 teams in the top 6 in the same sectional, and then it's possible they could see each other. I don't know how the draw is going to happen, but they could play either Northwood in the regional. They might play Norwell in the regional. You just don't know which direction they're going to go. So the 3A is loaded in the north.
Yeah, and I don't think there's any question that Robbie Berger's got a good Marion team.
Oh yeah,
but Robbie Berger will miss Richard Brooks, and I mean Richard Brooks was a good player, a good scorer.
Are they as good as they were last year? Who knows? But they're doing pretty well.
Well, they're what, 15-2 maybe?
They're 17-2 right now.
They're 17-2.
They've got New Prairie and St. Joe this week.
So 19-2, 19-2.
So them, West Noble's right up there too. And the big game in 3A will be tomorrow night. Northwood is number 1, West Noble's number 5, and they play each other tomorrow night.
And then Northwood will play at Mishawaka on Friday. Speaking of Mishawaka, Mishawaka plays at Warsaw last Thursday.
Right.
Plays Warsaw really well. In the fourth quarter, Mishawaka leading Warsaw by 10. I'm doing the game, and I said it on air. I mean, Warsaw looked like they had no interest in playing that game. With 5 minutes left, Mishawaka commits 11 turnovers. I mean, Mishawaka comes out, pressures them, and they turn it over 11 times, and Warsaw ends up winning at the buzzer.
Wow.
Hey, talk about some girls sectional championships here, because I know you have that information.
John, chime in with me. I was at the Washington Invitational, also known as the Plymouth Sectional.
The Washington
Yes, you were.
Invitational.
Last weekend. Washington won all 3 games by 35 plus. We saw a running clock in all 3 of their games. And then we also, Dale mentioned, Tafalski, who I was working the game with, Plymouth had both of their games were running clocks. One they won with Michigan City. The next night they got beat in a running clock. So Washington without Reynolds. I did find out, I talked to Mrs. Reynolds down in the hospitality. She said that, what's the oldest girl's name? Mila, yeah.
Who's at Maryland, yeah.
Mila, yeah. It's like having 3 sisters. Is Reynolds number 2?
Hey, you had 3 sisters. I mean, didn't you have
I know.
3 sisters?
Yeah, we just numbered them.
Come on, man.
We just numbered
I know you
them.
had 3 sisters.
We just numbered them. They were Marcia and that's a Brady
don't ever
family.
forget
That's the Brady bunch.
That's a Brady bunch.
Okay, stay on task. Stay on task.
Her foot, she tore the ligament between her big toe. I got my hand pointing like that means something. Between the big toe and the next toe, that ligament that runs vertically, she tore that. She just planted her foot, and it went haywire, almost like an ACL pop.
Surgery?
Surgery is planned maybe as early as this week. So she's in a boot. She's in a cast, or not a cast, a boot and crutches. They're planning surgery. I mean, they're talking surgery is planned for either this week or next. So to me, that says she will not play the rest of the season. They said she's got a huge future. You know, she's already signed to go to Maryland. So they're already talking, the future with college. So she's done. She's toast for the rest of the season.
Talk about some other sectional winners.
You saw.
We saw a really good
You
sectional.
saw the good one over there at Concord. Tell us about that one.
That was a great game in the opener with Penn and Northridge back and forth. Penn had a bad third quarter where they've been tend to have this year and came back in the fourth, but it wasn't enough. And then, of course, Northridge able to take care of Elkhart. Elkhart would, you talked to Will Cody about this. They had it up there for a while. Northridge shoots some free throws. They come down and miss. Northridge shoot more free throws. They'd miss. And Northridge, you're going to see them on Saturday over at LaPorte. They won their first sectional since 2017.
They did. And Valpo won their sectional. And they will play South Bend, Washington over at LaPorte. And we get to see Joe Huppenthal next weekend. Get to see Joe. He's at Lake Central. He won the sectional. So I will be at LaPorte. And the game's over there Eastern time. We've got time zone differences. So we will be on the air at 2 o'clock for Valpo and South Bend, Washington. And then they'll cut down the nets, clear the gym. 5 o'clock game will be Lake Central and Northridge.
Correct.
For a 5 o'clock. And then when they get done, they will cut down the nets, give them a trophy. And then Sunday, whoever wins, they will get a ping pong ball. And they will play in the semi-state the following weekend. You have Homestead and Fishers, and you have Fort Wayne Snyder and Lafayette Harrison playing at Marion. So that's the North Regional for 4A. And then the winners of those 4 games will have a blind draw Sunday, and we'll find out not only who plays each other, but where they play. So it could be, you tell me, was it
Frankfort, Huntington North, Logansport, or LaPorte?
Or LaPorte.
Yeah.
And
Those are the 4 sites.
Those are the 4 sites. One will be 1A, 2A, 3A, and 4A. It just depends on locations of teams and how that works out.
John, do you have another question for us?
We sure do. This one is about Tommy Rees. Your thoughts about him going to Bama to be the OC and what that does for Notre Dame.
Well, so I think it's about 2 million reasons probably for Tommy Rees. Great. So I think it's a great move for Tommy Rees. I mean, he's been at Notre Dame his whole career as a player, as an assistant coach, and now he gets to branch out and work with Nick Saban and see what the best really is, and then maybe stay a couple years and start his own career as a head coach. But I think it's a great move for Tommy Rees.
I definitely
I think it's a great move for Marcus Freeman too, because Marcus Freeman will now get to scour the coaching sites and will basically have his pick as to who wants to come in and be the offensive coordinator. Now here's my question. Tommy Rees had great rapport. Tommy Rees was a great recruiter. Will any of these quarterbacks, mainly C.J. Carr, Lloyd Carr's grandson, will any of these quarterbacks maybe follow Tommy Rees to Alabama and not follow through on their commitment to Notre Dame? I'm pretty sure Sam Hartman and his 2 million reasons for coming to Notre Dame will. I mean, he'll be the starting quarterback next year unless there's an injury.
So the Wake Forest quarterback, you said, has 2 million reasons.
Well, he's got a few million reasons to stay
but
at
he's
Notre
going to stay
Dame
too. And the thing that I'm interested. All these Notre Dame people all year that were complaining and crying about Tommy Rees has got to go, this, that, because they didn't like his play calling, and now all of a sudden he's going to Alabama, and they're thinking, okay, what do they see that we didn't see? Because I think it shut a lot of them up.
I don't think there's any question. What Nick Saban saw was A, great recruiter, B, young, C, the opportunity to kind of mesh Tommy in the offensive scheme at Alabama, because the offensive scheme at Alabama, you got to remember Steve Sarkisian,
yes,
Lane Kiffin, Bill O'Brien. Those are offensive coordinators that were great.
Let me throw something out, too. What's to say that Tommy Rees stays at Alabama for 2, 3, 4 years, and his next move's NFL, offensive coordinator in NFL?
I mean, without question, his father's Bill Rees, and Bill Rees was a long time scout for the Chicago Bears. So he does have NFL ties.
Right.
I mean, I'm really happy for Tommy Rees. I'm happy for Notre Dame.
I think it'll give them a new identity.
Well, I mean, Notre Dame can go out and get anybody who they want to get.
Exactly.
I mean, it's Notre Dame, for goodness sakes. Are you kidding me?
And there'll be a lot of people lined up. Freeman will have plenty of choices.
Well, they have the best offensive line coach in the country, Harry Heaston.
No doubt.
And anybody who's going to mesh with Harry Heaston and call plays at Notre Dame, and they have the running back by committee, I think it's a great move all the way around. And Tommy Rees had to take that job.
I think so, too.
Probably 2 million reasons he had to take that job.
John, you got another one? I'm going to go through the 3A girls before we finish.
Why don't you do that? I got one more question about high school football.
Okay, because you're going to Jimtown.
I'm going to Jimtown
for the
Saturday.
3A. So let me tell people who you're going to see. And I don't know what time your games are. So
1 and 4 Eastern.
Your games are at 1 and 4.
Yes.
Okay. You'll see Mishawaka Marion, and you'll see them against Tippecanoe Valley.
That'll be a good game. That should be a good game.
Should be a good game. The second game is highly ranked Fairfield against Highland.
And they were a semi-state.
The Falcons, right?
Yeah,
yes.
they were participant last year in the semi-state, yes.
They're back. Fairfield is the favorite.
Oh, yeah. They have 4 starters back from last year's semi-state team.
Yes, plus a move-in.
Yes, exactly.
But so those two, now, before we get ahead of ourselves, those two are, again, separate games. So you don't be saying that Fairfield is going to play Marion later in the day. That's not going to happen. Again, Marion's they're going to play, cut down the nets, get everybody out of the gym. Fairfield and Highland are going to come in, and that game's at Jimtown.
Correct.
And then on Sunday, they'll redraw again. The other half of that is at Belmont, and that's Hamilton Heights and Norwell. Norwell's ranked 4th in the state. And the fourth regional game of that is number 1 Twin Lakes, who is undefeated at 26-0, and they play Garrett. So the experts are telling you Twin Lakes, Norwell, Fairfield, Mishawaka Marion the following week for the semi-state. That should be a good semi-state.
That should be a good semi-state
if indeed that happens.
Can I ask you guys a question?
Obviously.
Why Jimtown? I mean, there's a sectional at Jimtown. There's a regional at Jimtown. Why Jimtown?
Is there somebody on the executive committee?
I don't think Jimtown
is Byron Sanders on the committee?
No. Nate Dean, the athletic director, is on the executive committee of the IHSA.
And
he is also retiring this year, so they want to kind of give him this opportunity to.
Jimtown's a rinky-dink gym. It's a nice
got
gym.
The best hospitality in the state, though, fellas.
I'm just saying.
They'll sell the place out.
Yes, they will.
But
they
need more bleachers.
There are a lot of bigger, venues than Jimtown.
Elkhart Northside Gym's sitting empty.
Exactly. Exactly. Help me understand that.
I have no answer. I'm
And,
just
and
telling
these
you.
schools bid on these things too.
Concord's bigger than Jimtown.
Yeah, and they did a great job with the sectional last week, and that thing was pretty full.
Why
too.
do you have to have it? Why do you have to have the 3A regional in a 3A building? Why can't you have it someplace else?
I'm sorry I started this mess.
Yeah,
I
you-
apologize for
Well,
starting
Boy,
this
you
mess.
sure
We'll
did.
continue this. It's time to go home. We got some basketball
Yes.
to watch tonight. Thank you, John.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
John, you're the best, man. Thanks for spinning the dials.
We're
Next
getting ready
week,
to eat.
Next week we'll have more hoops. Next week, I promise, we'll have World Baseball Classic rosters. Rosters from the World Baseball Classic. I promise.
Boy. You and your baseball. I know. You got to do it.
Come on, man. I love baseball.
All right. Thanks, Heck.
You're the best, Patrick. Enjoyed it, John. You're the best. Look forward to next week. Thanks, folks.